Kyle Gibson is back. Hopefully he can help the O staff. Sugano dominates on a day when the Orioles get more bad news. Westburg is headed to the IL. Hello, everybody. I'm Jon Leiberman. This is Orioles Digest. I told you I wasn't going to shave until we won. We won, but now I am tweaking that to tell you that I'm not going to shave until there's no bad news on one given day for the Birds. I mean, I keep asking Adley, please, Adley, start hitting. That really hasn't happened, but there's more bad news. Westburg's headed to the IL. He's not the only one. We'll go into that. Sugano does dominate. He's clearly the ace now for the Orioles. We're going to break that down. Kyle Gibson coming up today, hopefully to add some maturity and eat some innings for the Birds. And the Orioles also make a sneaky pickup late in the day as well. We're going to get to all of that. We're going to break it down. This is Orioles Digest. Please like, subscribe, do all of the things, and I promise I will shave on a day when we have no bad news. But on this day, we have to begin with this. Jordan Westburg and Gary Sanchez now each on the 10-day injured list. The hits just keep on coming. I wish the actual hits on the field would keep on coming. But so Westy and Sanchez on the 10-day. The Birds call up Emmanuel Rivera, who I'm a fan of, and catcher Maverick Handley in their place. The Birds also picked up Walter Pennington. We're going to talk about him a little bit later. Pennington is a lefty reliever, and the O's have plenty of lefty relievers. But again, as you know, you can never have too much pitching. And so how did the Birds create these two openings on the 40-man roster? Not really a surprise here, moving Grayson and Colton Cowser to the 60-day. Those two guys are going to be out for some time. But again, the headlines here, Westy and Gary Sanchez going to the IL for at least 10 days as the hits continue to come in Birdland. So we're going to get to all of these stats in just a moment, but let's start with Tomoyuki Sugano. I said this during spring training. This guy has ace stuff, and he needed a little bit of time to adjust to the major leagues, and I'm doubling down on that as well. Take a look at this. This is Sugano last night against the Yankees. You know, he came into this outing with 9 strikeouts through his first 5 outings. Well, he had 8 strikeouts in just 5 innings pitched last night against the Yankees. He looks solid. That sinker looks solid. His control was very good. Let's watch the video again. Clearly his best performance of the year. Not his longest, but his best, because his pitches were working. That sinker keeping mostly everything down in the zone, and he looked really, really good. 5 hits and a walk over 5 shutout frames on Monday. And look, you know, you look at his season statistics so far, and these are ace-like. I mean, you know, you just can't, you don't get too much better than these statistics. I mean, Sugano is pitching to a 3-run ERA. As you can see, he's got the 6 games pitched, 11 earned runs, 3-1, a pretty good whip. So, you know, hopefully the Orioles can at least say, all right, we have a guy that we can turn to at the moment every 5th day. Now it's, look, is Sugano going to save the season for the pitching staff? Probably not. But if he can continue to pitch like an ace, at least it gives the Orioles that hope every 5 days out that they can actually do something good. I know this graphic is off center, and you know what? So is the Orioles pitching staff, so I think it's okay. I'm only going to stay on it for a second, and what I wanted to show you here was, if you look down at the bottom, this is the Orioles with the worst pitching staff in the American League. A 5.34 ERA overall. Starters are about, 5.24. Starters are about 1 run over that. So look, the Orioles still are looking for some solutions. Sugano, hopefully, is going to continue to settle in. And with these numbers, he can definitely be an ace. So, speaking of settling in, Gibby is getting called up to the bigs today to pitch against the Yankees. So, it's interesting because Gibby hasn't pitched actually in about 9 days. He pitched at High A Aberdeen. He threw 5 innings, 2 runs, 1 hit, and he had some soreness. Surprise, surprise. But the 37-year-old is up, and he knows the gig. He knows the job. I think it's interesting when you look at what Brandon Hyde said about Gibby. He said, I hope he can bring a lot of things. I know one thing, he's going to compete every single time out. He's one of the best teammates I've ever been around. He pitched really well for us, had a nice year for St. Louis, kept us in the game more times than not 2 years ago, and that was fantastic. I hope we get that version. Hyder also mentioned that it would be nice to have another adult in the room. Clearly, Gibson, is an adult at 37 years old. You may or may not remember Gibby was 15-9, 4.73 ERA back in 2023. Pitched 3 innings in Game 3 of the ALDS. And again, Hyde said, I know we're going to get an unbelievable person and a real leader, an adult in the room, which I think is really great. And look, yes, the pitching staff has a tremendous amount of pressure on it. And the reason why there's this tremendous amount of pressure, in large part, is because the batting just isn't there. The hitting just isn't there. I want to look at something real quick. Again, let me see if we can get this a little bit better so you can see, although you probably don't even want to see it. These are the hitting stats from the majors, and I will just point out the Orioles are sitting at 25th in the majors in hitting with that 224 batting average. And look, I don't have to tell you, you don't win ball games if you can't hit, especially, do the math. Your pitching staff is giving up 5 to 6 runs a game, and you're not scoring more than 3 runs on most nights. Sometimes not even that. You're not going to win. The run differential is huge and all of that. The Orioles know what they have to do. They know what's in front of them. We can hope that Kyle Gibson, gives a great outing tonight. And just one other quick hit. The Birds picked up Walter Pennington. You probably don't know the name. He is 27. Hasn't really pitched this year at all, I don't believe. He made his debut last year with the Royals. Then he was flipped to the Rangers. Last year he tossed 18 innings in the bigs. He allowed, I think, 3 earned runs per 9, 20% strikeout rate, 13% walk rate. He throws a lot of ground balls. About half of his balls were ground balls. No, the Birds don't need lefty relievers, but look, the way people are going down, it's another arm. Is he going to be in the majors anytime soon? We don't know, but the Birds pick up Walter Pennington as well. Those are the takeaways. Westy and Sanchez go to the IL. Sugano shines. We hope Kyle Gibson can shine. Give me your comments. Jon Leiberman, Orioles Digest.